Hey guys, just an update. I've got plenty of videos to come, and you're always welcome to drop a topic suggestion if you want. I'll probably cover it at some point anyway. I'll be sticking to this format for a while, but around spring, yeah, I don't know, April or something, I'll do some outdoor footage again whenever it warms up. There's really not a lot of adventuring or outdoor stuff to do at this time of season. I really do hate the cold weather. I'm not really a skier or anything like that anyway, so. Yeah, we've got a couple tier lists to work on, some broader topics. We'll throw in some sporadic niche topics too. I'm a mindless rambler, so I need to have certain topics laid out ahead of time. I'm mostly organized right now, I hope anyway. So, once in a while, I could relate myself to these ideas. So, for any book nerds, I'll have a video on that. So, a little more about me once in a while, maybe a couple times a month. It'll be a little personal, we'll see. Regardless, there's plenty to talk about. So, we all know you can take pearls of wisdom from multiple sources. And you can try accepting ideas from both sides of the aisle, or multiple aisles, of course. You have to get the proper ingredients for a well balanced meal from several places. You just got to make sure you pay attention to what it is you're grabbing. Reading the labels, getting that best value, making sure there aren't microplastics, making sure some asshole didn't spit in the food, etc. There's a lot of division, understandably, but remember, we could try to look things on a spectrum. So, sniffing the bullshit will have to come with more intuition. It's true that most boxes aren't even worth the effort, but some things are worth sifting through. And I'm not just talking about this because I hate labels, which I really do, but people try to bolster their ranks. People want to hold hands when they come to the same conclusion for different reasons. And sometimes these reasons are so different that the conclusion has less value. The final product may look nice, but if it's made out of dog shit, you shouldn't eat it. So, for example, two people may advocate for unbridled use of weapons, but one would want them for self-defense and another as a criminal. So we look for nuanced discussions. But they just want to put you in their box. That's their end goal. Yeah, even you who listens. And I could be guilty of the same thing, boxing in ideas. But the first step is to acknowledge it. So let's talk about it. I'll, start with some examples. I rag on the religious and the spiritual people, and yeah, they're easy targets, so we'll give them a small break. At least for now. There's boxes we all know from our youth. So you can't be an athlete, a nerd, an artist, an outcast, and a normie all at the same time. Well, actually, you can. We're all of these things to varying degrees, and people will acclimate to whatever you are if it suits them. If they want you to, if they want to form false allegiances, or they think you can improve their own well being, they'll happily count you in. When it's no longer convenient, people won't associate with you. If it conflicts with their own box. Certain people need to compartmentalize more than others. And that's perfectly understandable in situations between things like work and friends. But with the internet now, everyone's in a club, and maybe it's more tribal now than ever before. People are so willing to cut each other off the moment they hear someone else identify with just a single word. You have the other superficial boxes they want you in. You can't be a white dude with that haircut. You can't talk that way as a black man. You can't listen to this music. You can't go here or there. Don't look at this. Don't read that. And of course the classic, so you're one of those kinds of people. It's always some jackass who thinks he's figured you out after talking to you for less than a single fucking minute. Ironically, he doesn't even realize how easy he is to judge. But we've eroded a lot of these stereotypes. Still, there's some subtle messaging going on, especially with imagery. The truth is, those people don't really care about what box you end up in. as long as they get to walk away with your money, as long as they get to abuse you. Once we're all stuck in our boxes, we can start squabbling over the scraps we're left with. People are disgusting animals. Don't ever forget that. We can have our kind and beautiful moments when we're well fed and content, but when shit hits the fan, we're absolute animals. Even the people we know, which we treat them better, that's really just bigotry. We have no rationale for favoritism. We do it anyway. We're animals. That's one box we can't escape. And for the record, animals aren't any better. So, yes, that's another box to be wary of. Complete misanthropy and total love for nature. There's nothing wonderful about nature, guys. There's nothing wonderful. It's no better than us. Go watch a video of a wildebeest being ripped open and slowly eaten alive by wild dogs. There's nothing a human can do that's much worse than that. Okay, so moving on. Another example. Political categories. And I'm in the United States, by the way. But you're expected to sit on one side of the aisle or the other. All issues are scraped to one side, and that's just how it works in this country. We consolidate power to the two biggest parties, but now you've got issues that flip back and forth. You can't be progressive and criticize your leaders for frivolous spending. Don't even dare mention any ideas that are fiscally conservative, even if it would benefit most of the country. Don't you dare try to pull out any of the wars. We gotta stay numb. Yeah, we have to keep fighting for some other bullshit. We have to keep exploiting people. And then the side that's claiming to be conservative, they're wasting taxpayers' money so badly, and they give tax breaks to the richest people. These people love their Jesus, but they don't want to support the poor and the weak. The truth is, neither side enacts the policies they espouse. Everything they do is to group you and just lump you all up and squeeze you all dry. They shift on the issues the minute they realize they can double their count. So you just have to vote for whatever you prioritize the most. But you have to sacrifice a lot of your own values. So people are still divided. And it would be nice to see some political reform go on. Gerrymandering, the electorate. But anyway, then you have all the factions with that. So you have the MGTOWs, the Men Going Their Own Way Club. They don't want you to go your own way. They want you to go their way. They want the validation that any of their failures live on through you and other people. It's another cope, guys. Pay attention. That's the truth. Just keep in mind anytime you hear something, whether it actually applies to you or if it's just projection. It's as if they're living vicariously through your emotions, because living through their own isn't enough. See, nobody's really a sore loser if everyone else is. You'll get called beta, soy, white knight, whatever it is, if you even mention the word feminist. It's funny, because the word just means equality between men and women. It doesn't mean to revere women above men. So I don't get the vitriol for trying to level the playing field. These guys will toss money at their favorite wealthy, manly mentors, but they'll call you a simp if you even consider helping a woman cover costs for basic shit. On the other hand, I don't know why I'm expected from certain groups to go above and beyond, to just make sure everything is perfect for every woman I see. I don't know why I'm seen as a job resume with 1,000 check boxes. Yeah, okay, women are more vulnerable, that's true. And I wouldn't be able to understand their struggles. But there's half a world of men mentally crippled, withering, psychologically dead before their lives are nearly halfway over. They're more disposable. They are more disposable. We all know it. And we feel like we have no value unless we're like the top 1% of men. We know our fates. So I'm so fucking tired of the cope for both sides to just do better. Just do better. Just do better. Doing better means stepping on other people so they can suffer underneath you. Doing better means everyone else will also do better. If everyone had $1 billion, a perfect job in education, and the looks to match it, there would still be people at the bottom. That's just how it works. We would still make judgments based on more minute and trivial details. Yeah, do better, but do it for the right reasons. Don't do better things for an awful world, not for superficial reasons. What's doing better anyway? But scheming and exploiting each other more cleverly? That's all this game is. We don't need to do better. We've been doing better for thousands of generations. That's evolution. Life needs to do better. We need a better system. It needs to do way fucking better. And since it can't, since we're stuck in the shitty game, let's not perpetuate this. Just remember, that's when life becomes horrible. Don't fall victim to closing yourself off into one box. There are many boxes and many truths, even in the most obscure places, but yeah, if the box smells like shit, it's probably full of it. So another example, you have a lot of atheists who want to throw you in the nihilists' den, and you've got the question of ethics when you remove any kind of God. There's admittedly a vacuum if you came from a structure of religion, but that's easily solvable. So if you spend some time thinking about it, if you're a moral nihilist, then there's really no value in labeling yourself as such. It shouldn't really matter either way. They want you to believe that your values, that all your values are subjective. They're entirely subjective. That your experiences of good and bad aren't evidence. That your suffering is just subjective. Just remember, nobody is a nihilist when a polar bear is chasing them. Suddenly, they start to care. All right, so he only believes that, he's under dire circumstances. Okay, that's fair. But let's put him in a comfortable spot, frozen in time, where he can choose one of two doors, this nihilist. One leads to certain pain, one leads to certain pleasure. The doors are based on his experienced sensations. Now, I can't argue that there is no objectively correct door he should choose, but I will say that there is an objective value of difference between the two doors. And these values vary from subject to subject, true, but there's a bundle of information we can get across the spectrum of people. We can map this data. So while we call morals non-universal, it's still an objective statement to claim that these two doors have different values. Furthermore, all we have is our own empiricism, reasoning, and understanding to define what objectivity even is. And all that is very prone to error. So this is one of the most difficult topics to wrestle with, but I suspect that there may be truth in both views here, considering that the absolute truth eludes us beyond objectivity. But as another example, it could be objectively true that your hand is still your hand, even if you wipe off a few atoms. But it could also be something else now. The value difference here is invisible to us, but we make broad judgments at the end of the day. Objectivity doesn't need to be perfectly precise. It just needs to be true beyond a subject's interpretation. Beyond moral nihilism, you can still be a nihilist in the sense that beyond us, beyond our universe, it's just cold and dead. There's no inherent meaning. Okay, I can nod to that. The universe isn't some sort of living organism that needs our recognition. Even if there was a god or gods, I'd say that worship doesn't need to be an absolute imperative. Still, I don't believe in a god. There's no reason to. People tend to either jump on board with the nihilism label or vehemently reject it. But there's at least some truth to scrape from it. At least we're discussing the importance of values here. Anyway, there's just a ton of labels and groups. People want to enlist you in their little tribe so they can use you as cannon fodder. Whatever you do, make sure you can understand exactly what it is you're fighting for. You might be busy fighting for your brothers and sisters for no good reason, when there's really only one main thing to fight against. It's life. And if you fight to protect it, you fight for never-ending torment. You're fighting for the gates of hell to stay open. So that about wraps it up. Let me know what boxes that they try to put you in and why they keep the lid open. Judge boxes based on their actual value, but not how they're advertised. Make the right choice. Well, that is enough for now. And let me know what you think, and have a great day. We'll see you later.